All right, eighth graders, you can be seated. Everyone can be seated. All right, good afternoon. I'm Mike Smith, the proud principal of these eighth grade students, and I'm happy to welcome you to Keene Middle School's Achievement Day 2026. Congratulations to the eighth graders and their families. I'd also like to recognize those on stage behind me, our superintendent, Rob Millay, our assistant superintendents, Brian Campbell and Ben White, the chair of the Keene School Board, George Downing, and our assistant principals, Ryan Margaitis and Linnea Troina. And additionally, I'd like to thank the Director of Human Resources, Andy Stroud, and Keene School Board member and KMS liaison, Paige Walker, who are both in attendance. And to begin the ceremony formally, I'd like to introduce the KMS Student Council Vice President, Josie Toscano, who will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and you can stand and remain standing after the pledge because we will also be doing the national anthem.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you, Josie. Now I would like to welcome Callan Crank, one of our sixth graders. He is going to play the national anthem. All right, very nice. Thank you, Callan. Everyone can be seated. Did a great job, Callan. And one last thank you before we start. He just left the stage, but Mr. Mark Palafroni is the one who's playing the piano, so just a round of applause for him. We appreciate him. And at this point, before proceeding with the ceremony, I ask for a moment of silence for Miss Donna Fairbanks, who passed away suddenly this week. Donna was a decorated Keene Middle School teacher who served the children of this community for decades. She continued to sub at Keene High after her retirement, where her personality and love for teaching continued to light up every room she was in. She will be deeply missed, and I ask for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. I am now very pleased to introduce you to a remarkable young person who has become an incredible leader in his time at KMS. He is the president of Student Council, as well as the president of the National Junior Honor Society. It's my pleasure to introduce Shrihan Budakoti, who will deliver the welcoming address.
3 years ago, we walked into Keene Middle School as sixth graders. We went to our clusters, met our new teachers, and took it all in. We had just come from being the oldest kids in elementary school where we had everything figured out, and suddenly we were back at the bottom, trying to adapt to a much bigger building with a completely different surrounding and atmosphere. But when I look around at this auditorium today, I see something remarkable. I see how much every one of us has changed. We've grown, not only in height, but in confidence, resilience, character, and understanding. We've learned lessons inside our classrooms and lessons beyond them. We faced challenges, celebrated successes, made mistakes, and learned from them. Most importantly, we've grown together. Hello, my name is Shrihan Budakoti, and I am honored to serve as president of the KMS Student Council and the National Junior Honor Society. On the behalf of the class of 2030, I welcome you to the Achievement Day ceremony. I would like to begin by thanking our amazing teachers, dedicated administrators, helpful staff members, caring families, and everyone in attendance for being here today. This truly is a special occasion, and we are grateful to share it with all of you. When I was writing the speech, I had to create a theme, and I kept on going back and forth through themes and messages I wanted to leave my classmates. One of the themes kept coming back to me, the connections that we create. When we look back at our middle school years, we may not remember every homework assignment, every test score, or every deadline, but we will remember the people. We'll remember when we asked someone for a charger, when our Chromebooks were just on the verge of dying, the conversations and heated debates at our lunch tables, and even the shift from keeping our lockers locked all the time in sixth grade to just hoping someone didn't lock them in eighth. One of my favorite quotes is by Maya Angelou, who once said, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." That quote reminds us that our greatest impact comes not from what we accomplish alone, but how we treat others along the way. As president of both the National Junior Honor Society and KMS Student Council, I have had the privilege of working alongside incredible students, teachers, and staff on service projects, school events, leadership initiatives, and efforts to make our school a more welcoming and inclusive place for everyone. Through those experiences, I learned something important. Leadership is not about being in front. It's about helping others move forward. It's inviting someone to join your group. It's helping a classmate out who might be struggling. It's standing up for someone who feels left out. It's choosing kindness with everything that you do. No one can argue that our generation lives in a world that is more connected than ever before. With a phone in our hands, we can communicate instantly with people across the world. But perhaps the greatest challenge we face is not learning how to connect digitally. It's learning how we connect meaningfully. Please don't get me wrong, even though I don't use one, cell phones are incredible tools. Technology helps us learn, create, and communicate. But meaningful relationships are not built by technology alone. They are built through meaningful conversation, through listening, through empathy, through understanding, and through being fully present. A phone can send a message, but it cannot replace the feeling of looking someone in the eye and showing that you genuinely care. As we move forward into high school and beyond, I hope we remember that meaningful connection depends on who we choose to be. We need to persevere through challenges. We need empathy to understand different perspectives. We need kindness to make other people feel valued, and we need courage to reach out to include other people. Brené Brown once wrote, "Connection is why we're here. It is what gives us purpose and meaning to our lives." The connections that we create today will shape the people we become tomorrow. As I wrap this up, I would like to say a few thank yous. First, thank you to all of our teachers and staff, counselors, administrators, custodians, office staff, and everyone who has supported us throughout our journey at Keene Middle School. You challenged us, encouraged us, believed in us, and helped us become some students, really good students and better people. Most importantly, thank you to our parents and guardians. Thank you for signing permission slips at the last minute. Thank you for helping with homework. Thank you for driving us to practices, games, concerts, and events. Thank you for supporting us through every success and every setback. Thank you for being our foundation from the very first day of sixth grade until this moment today. Class of 2030, today is not the end of our story. It is the beginning of a new chapter. Years from now, people may not remember our schedules, but they will remember how we made them feel. They will remember whether we listened, whether we cared, whether we showed kindness, and whether we chose connection. So let us be remembered not only for what we achieved, but for the connections we created. Let's be leaders who bring people together. Let us be individuals who choose kindness. Let us be a generation that values understanding over division, empathy over judgment, and conversation over isolation. And let us never underestimate the power of a simple human connection. Congratulations, Keene Middle School Class of 2030. The future is waiting for us. Let's go build it together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shrihan. Very well said. So it's my turn to say a few words, so it's hard to say it better than Shrihan just did. But here's what my quick remarks are about. Hard work, meaning, and influence, not the social media kind, the real kind. Let's start with meaning. The greatest achievements in any field, or in life for that matter, come as a result of meaning and purpose. Be constantly aware of what is shallow and what is deep, what is trivial and what is important. Confusing those two is dangerous. When you find meaning and purpose, follow it. Next, don't forget to act responsibly with the influence you have. Understand that the world is not complicated, the world is complex. Complicated means that something is hard to figure out, but once you figure it out, you can apply that same formula to the same problem over and over. The real world doesn't work like that. It's complex. There are so many interactions happening all the time that things will always be dynamic and unpredictable. But while we can't fully control anything, we always have some degree of influence over everything around us. Everything you do, great and small, has an impact somewhere and on someone. Manage this responsibility very carefully. It's the root of your character. Finally, work hard always, but hardest on the things that provide you with meaning and purpose. Work hard at them and really learn them. Don't just spend time doing them, really learn them. Last year I mentioned that the author Malcolm Gladwell cites research to show that it takes about 10,000 hours of deliberate practice to become really good at something. And all year long, 8th graders have heard me speak about System 1 and System 2. System 1 is the immediate knee-jerk reaction to something, whereas System 2 is the slow, deliberate, methodical, and thoughtful system in our brains that allows us to learn, build relationships, and reach our potential. I'd like to connect that to a quote from one of my favorite musicians. It's not Bob Dylan this time, a different one. Jack White, who was just inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. When speaking about technology and creativity, he said, "Technology is a big destroyer of emotion and truth. Auto-tuning doesn't do anything for creativity. Yeah, it makes it easier, and you can get home sooner, but it doesn't make you a more creative person. That's the disease we have to fight in any creative field, ease of use." This applies to more than just writing songs. Using System 2 means doing it the harder way, but it provides better outcomes, a richer life and more meaning. Welcome the challenges that come your way and learn from them. And I wish you all the best. So we did hand out some 8th grade awards yesterday, and I'll be referencing those students in a few minutes, but we do have a couple more to hand out here at the ceremony. The first award is the 2026 VFW Sportsmanship Award. 2 students were chosen by the staff at KMS to receive this award. They have been chosen for their positive attitude towards school, fellow students, and staff, as well as good sportsmanship. Representing the Veterans of Foreign Wars and its auxiliary are Mrs. Tracy Bell, VFW Auxiliary Conductress, and Mr. Greg Bell, VFW Senior Vice Commander. I invite them to the stage now.
The first recipient is a student who is described by those who know her as a polite, respectful, conscientious, and overall outstanding person. Her work ethic is outstanding and something to be proud of. In athletics, she has excelled as a 3-sport athlete, competing in all 3 years in KMS soccer, basketball, and softball. Her participation and support for her teammates have made her an invaluable asset to each of those teams. Aside from athletics, this student comes into each school day with a positive attitude, ready to learn and to help others do their best. Her consistent positive energy and sincere empathy for everyone around her make her stand out from the crowd. We are extremely honored to present this year's VFW Award to Riley Ingalls.
The second recipient of the VFW Award is very deserving of this honor. He is a student whose sportsmanship and citizenship have won him the respect of everyone he's come in contact with. In his 3 years at KMS, he is an extremely kind, caring, and respectful individual in our school community. As an athlete, this student has been an outstanding member of KMS basketball team and cross-country team, always encouraging his fellow teammates to do their best while trying to level up his own game. He is a role model for all students, especially younger students who look up to him in the athletics and academics. It is a tremendous honor and privilege to present the VFW Award to Grady Sullivan. Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, the next award is the Robert C. Coates and Janice B. Coates Citizenship Award. It is the one award determined by a vote of the 8th graders themselves. There are 2 8th grade recipients of this award. George Downing, chairman of the Keene School Board, along with Elizabeth Seaver, who is representing the Coates family, will present this award. Other members of the Coates family are here today as well. I ask that they please stand and be recognized. And at this time, I'll turn it over to the chair of the Keene Board of Education, George Downing.
The Keene Board of Education provides for a number of very satisfying experiences. It is my honor to be asked to be the presenter of the Robert C. Coates and Janice B. Coates Citizenship Award. Though I did not serve on the Keene Board of Education with Robert Coates, his contributions to education and to the community of Keene are well known to those who follow him in service to the Keene School Board. Bob Coates was raised and educated in Vermont and came to Keene in the early 1950s. Once Bob had settled his family in Keene, he immersed himself in various community efforts. He was an active leader in youth baseball and the Boy Scouts. Through the efforts of Bob Coates and others, the former Monadnock Children's Center was founded in 1966. The Children's Center was responsible for starting some of the first special education programs in the region, such as Rise for Baby and Family on Washington Street here in Keene. In 1963, Bob Coates was elected to the Keene Board of Education, and until his death in 1972, gave freely of himself and offered his talents to the children of Keene by constantly working to ensure improved educational opportunities. In 1971, he was elected chairman of the Keene School Board. Robert's wife, Janice B. Coates, was an exceptionally caring elementary school teacher who, after her husband's untimely death at the age of 45, successfully raised her 6 children, helping each of them to complete their college educations. Janice taught the majority of her career, first at the Marlborough Elementary School, and then for 24 years as a second-grade teacher at Simon School. Janice was a unique and inspiring educator who embraced the hesitant learner and created a classroom community with a foundation of trust, respect, and friendship for every student. Upon retirement, her next career was at the Keene Clinic and the Keene City Clerk's Office. She also volunteered at the Keene Library, St. Bernard's Church, and many other nonprofits in the city of Keene. Because Robert and Janice Coates dedicated their lives, first to their family and then to their community, this Citizenship Award was established by the Keene School Board so that young people could be recognized for their significant contributions to their school. The Robert C. Coates and Janice B. Coates Citizenship Award is presented to 2 8th grade students who have demonstrated academic ability, engaging participation, contribution to school life, cooperativeness, and general school-wide citizenship. A permanent plaque remains here at Keene Middle School, and our recipients receive a smaller plaque. It is now my privilege to introduce the Coates family representative, daughter Elizabeth Seaver.
Our first recipient is a student who embodies all that the Robert C. Coates and Janice B. Coates Award entails. He is well-liked by his peers, a stellar athlete, and academically impressive. This student leads by example in the classroom and socially with his peers. His strong work ethic is like no other. It is no surprise that his well-rounded, kind student was chosen by all of you in the 8th grade class. He is one of this year's Robert C. Coates and Janice B. Coates Award recipients. It is a great honor that we present this award to Shion Budakoti. The second recipient of the Robert C. Coates and Janice B. Coates Award is a thoughtful, hardworking, empathetic young woman. She's a strong student, a member of the KMS Strings Assembly and the National Junior Honor Society. She competes in many sports, including soccer, basketball, and softball, and is a tremendous team member of each of those teams. This student consistently shows her kindness to others and isn't afraid to stand up for what is right. It is a great pleasure to present the Robert C. Coates and Janice B. Coates Award to Hannah Brown.
All right. At yesterday's 8th grade awards assembly, there were additional awards given to recognize a wide range of abilities and skills among our students. The winners of these awards are listed on the back of your programs, but I would like to call their names out loud as well, and I ask any of these students, as I call your name, if you could please just stand. So Leah LaPlume, Taylor Snyder, Maddie Bullock, Caden Crank, Jay Lacoste, Sophia Herrera-Donovan, Jenna Brewer, Shrihan Budakoti, George Archbold, Louis Grabowski, Riley Ingalls, Ava Kendall, Lonnie Studer, Amelia Mead, Megan Dombrowski, and Connor Kennedy. We can have a round of applause for all of them, please. All right, you may be seated. And at this time, I'd like to welcome Miss Gagliotti and the 8th grade strings ensemble to the stage. They will be performing This Is Me. right, thank you to Ms. Gagliotti and the 8th grade strings ensemble. Each year, 8th grade students choose a staff member to speak at Achievement Day. It's obviously an honor to be chosen, and I am pleased to welcome this year's speaker, Mr. David Pacho.
A sincere thank you to the graduating students for having me, and a gigantic thank you to their families and school staff that have helped guide and shape the amazing humans that they are. I'm proud to be here, and I'm proud of you. It feels necessary to mention that I did not use AI to write, plan, or perfect what I'm about to say. Many of you voted for me to be here, and I want to honor that, regardless of my human imperfections. Because without our imperfections, why would we be here? What would be the point of anything if we already knew everything? I won't bore you with my poetry of life, but I won't hide it either. To say goodbye to this group is no easy task. I thought about the multiple directions this could go, including my decision to include the thought process. So much of me wanted to recapitulate the billions of inside jokes we have for 5 straight minutes, but I was told once that that would be cliche. Hey, Coop, remember that time you tied your pants to a desk and we needed to use a colored pencil and a pair of pliers to release you? That sort of thing. True story. To the graduates I had the pleasure of knowing, to the Iron Giraffe Challenge walkers and runners that earned nearly $9,000 and saved countless lives of humans you'll never meet. To the Cluster C students that would make eye contact with me in the halls and gave me a sincere hello. To my before school morning crew. Let's review a couple of life lessons before our formal time together expires. Let's talk about struggle. True fulfillment takes struggle. Good things are worth fighting for. Now, fighting does not mean becoming a storming fit of emotional rage or someone that puts down others on the internet because they've not yet taken the consideration to develop a reasonable, socially acceptable plan for achievement. We all lose it. Be careful when you do. All of my worst decisions have happened when I was in what I tell my own children is the red zone. And those decisions were actually because I didn't have the maturity or life experience to realize I was projecting my own fears. This has probably happened to you already. And the world usually gives you grace because you're kids. But as you grow, please realize that fit throwing generally achieves the opposite of your desires. Have dignity, especially when things don't go your way. And if you can't yet, at least be self-aware enough to know that you're contributing to your own losing battle. True fulfillment takes struggle. Fulfillment is that feeling of deep satisfaction, and it exists only with effort and experience. Your experience will happen either way. Time cannot be stopped. We can argue later about human constructs if you want. Much of that experience is out of your control, but you control your mindset. So you'd be silly not to start developing a sturdy one. Do hard things. Sprint. Write the essay. Help your parents take care of the infant. Clean your room. Study. Remove yourself from the text thread, putting down the new girl because she didn't have the right brand socks. You know what I mean. And understand that your hard work doesn't always promise success. Expect to make mistakes. It builds resilience. But mistakes need to be legit. Failing to do what's right or consciously choosing what's wrong is not a mistake. It's a decision. Mistakes happen when effort is exuded and the desired goal is not achieved. And challenges happen often. And I hope the most tragic ones never find you. Just don't be surprised when struggle comes knocking at your front door. Look at struggle as an opportunity to learn and practice resilience, which will ironically lead to a life more rich with satisfaction. True fulfillment takes struggle. Next, be a person that others can trust. Be reliable. Be honest. Even avoid white lies. Show up to commitments that you've made. Be someone people can depend on because you know where you stand. By having this type of integrity, you're contributing to the greater society. In fact, you'll be contributing to the greater society in a positive way, which has immeasurable benefits. to world civilization. You'll need to rely on others on your journey through life. You wouldn't rely on a liar. You wouldn't want someone that never followed through with their own responsibilities to be coaching you with yours. And if you have principles, and if you're dependable, you can apply that dependability to yourself when it feels like you don't have someone in your corner. You are a part of something much bigger than yourself. Consider it an honor, but you are not the main focal point. You will be sometimes, just not always. Most of the time you won't. You have value, and you will have impact if you want to. And that impact is best optimized by having personal integrity, not expecting to always be the star of the show. A good friend recently reminded me of the words of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Don't allow anybody to make you feel that you're nobody. Always feel that you count. Always feel that you have worth, and always feel that your life has ultimate significance. End quote. You are a part of a very interconnected world, and everything you say and do will have an effect on the people around you. And congratulations, because I've had the tremendous pleasure of watching you develop through your middle school years. And I have the strongest, most sincere faith that you people will make the world a much better place than it already is. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Peixow. Before certificates are awarded, we will have a brief slideshow highlighting this class's journey through KMS. And I want to thank Ms. Harden, the 8th grade school counselor, for putting this together. And this is a new tradition that was actually started last year by Ms. Campbell, and we're going to continue doing it. thanks again to Ms. Harden for putting that together. And just to announce it here, Ms. Harden actually had the yearbook dedicated to her as well by the 8th grade students. So. All right. So at this point, Ms. Harden, the 8th grade school counselor, will come up. She will be reading the names of all the 8th grade students. As names are read out loud, each student will cross in front to receive his or her promotion certificate. I do ask that students, parents, and guests hold their applause and refrain from cheering until the very end to allow families to clearly hear each child's name. I promise there will be time for a long round of applause and some loud cheers at the very end. So I turn it over to Ms. Harden, and I invite the front row of 8th graders to please stand to receive your certificates.
Lucas Abdul. Sophia Adams. Sohaila Ali. Hassan Anber. George Archbold. Connor Ash. Sawyer Ash Norton. Kinsley Audette. Brian Barrett. J.C. Beers. Carmen Bell. David Bell. Savannah Belrose. Zachary Bemis. Christina Bergeron. Ethan Berkey. Sawyer Best. Gretchen Bettler. Veda Bliss. Austin Bonacolto. Jacob Bulemata. Margaret Boyd Tucker. Jenna Brewer. Hannah Brown. Caden Brown. Wyatt Brown. Liliana Bruno. Allie Buckley. Cooper Buckley. Shrihan Budakoti. Xander Bujnowski. Madison Bullock. Jaylia Bunker. Rihanna Campbell. Isabella Cavallari. Kinley Cheever. Megan Clark. Brian Clark. Leo Clark. Elliot Cook. Lumina Kreitch. Maximilian Kreitch. Caden Crank. Finn Craven. Caleb Davern. Luca Davis. Myra Dekoff. Abigail DeMond. Gracie DeRogers. Nolan DeTuris. Braden Devine. Megan Dombrowski. Aubrey Douay. Aubrey Downing. Isla Doust. Lucas Dunn. Angeline Esparza Soto. Henry Everard. Caleb Fitzgerald. Addison Fontaine. Brian French. Olivia Gabersek. Braxton Gardner. Katarina Gatto. Charisma Gilbo. Jocelyn Goodnow. Natalie Goodrich. Louis Grabowski. Rainey Grandmont. Thomas Green IV. Reed Hadley. Zachary Hamlin. Ashton Hart. Isaiah Harvey. Dominic Heath. Amelia Hearn. Sophia Herrera Donovan. Finnegan Higgins. Olivia Hope. Seth Howard. Colton Hubbard. Jamison Ingalls. Riley Ingalls. Katarina Anna Jacome. Xavier Jean Louise. Ryder Johannesson. Naomi Jondro. Ava Johnson. Reagan Johnson. Sophia Johnson. Noah Jones. Ella Juarez. Caitlin Judd. Ava Kendall. Connor Kennedy. James Kerber. Dexter Caseta. Connor Kraus. Kaz Kudalok. Ella Labatt. Juliana LaCoyle Carter. Jay Lacoste. Parker Ladd. Jackson Lake. Leah LaPlume. Milo Latham. Joshua Lazaro. Bentley LeClaire. Vivian Linau. Byron Lent. Braden Lloyd. Damian Lorette. Addison McKay. Logan Mayjoy. Brendan Marchese. Nadia Marcinik. Parker Marsh. Fel Marshall. Roman Mathis. Ashlyn McKeon. Connor McKeon. Amelia Mead. Hallie Melton. Leov Moon. Adriana Mooney. Claire Morgan. James Murch. Lucia Murphy. Harper Murray. Abigail Muzzy. Brennan Nelson. Lila Nimala. Elliot Odato. Aaron Olivo. Moxie O'Ross. Riley Page. Wilson Perez III. Marilyn Perkins. Trent Perry. Logan Prezzuti. Reese Quinta. Gianna Racano. Brantley Raymond. Maddox Raymond. Eloise Reekston. Brian Reed. Julia Richmond. Keegan Ritter. Elizabeth Robarge. Ariston Roberts. Amelia Robinson. Griffin Roost. Piper Rutledge. Annalise Santana. Isabella Saunders. Natalie Scalia. Anthony Sherpa. Millie Surth. Lena Sherwood. Madison Sibley. Jacob Sigafos. Donovan Sylvia. Kylie Simino. Isaac Singer. Jackson Smith. Carly Snyder. Taylor Snyder. Mihir Soni. Hanshita Srinath. Sage Starr. Lockhart Strube. Lonnie Studer. Grady Sullivan. Carter Summers. Logan Summers. Sydney Swift. Theo Swimer. Devin Tarpley. Olivia Thomas. Kendall Tinnen. Dustin Tucker. Spencer Van. Michaela Veith. Tristan Bisegli. Aaliyah Wallace. Christiana Walter. Isla Washer. Madeline Wenzel. Jack White. Kylie Wilkes. Camden Williams. Ellie Williams. Kyra Wyman.
All right. We can get loud again. I just want to formally present you Keene Middle School's class of 2026. All right, soon our students will begin their final walk out of Keene Middle School. Once the students have exited, then we will ask the guests to exit. Normally we have families meet students outside of the building, though I know the weather might be getting bad soon. So feel free to wait in the gym or the lobby area or outside, but after a few minutes, they will come back downstairs because they're gonna head upstairs. And a reminder to the 8th graders, make sure you come back before you leave the building to get your portraits. But students will go upstairs and then they'll meet you either in the gym, the lobby area, or directly outside. All right. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us in this celebration of our students. Again, I ask all guests just to stay in the auditorium until the students have exited. 9th graders, please stand and prepare for your final walk out of the KMS auditorium. right, thanks again for attending. I was just told it is starting to rain outside, so again, feel free to stay in the lobby area or the gym to wait for your student.